So while I do my skincare, I thought I wanted to talk about a video that I saw by this woman called A Walmart Parking Lot, where she basically talked about how she feels like there's a major connection between play, learning through play, and academics, and then why kids today basically can't do anything. And I wanted to talk about this from the perspective of somebody who not only used to be a teacher at Kumon, but who went to a Montessori school. And if you don't know what a Montessori school is basically a school where you're like physically doing stuff all day long. You're not really sitting down and learning in a typical traditional classroom environment, but you're learning through physical or like kinetic activity. So a lot of times, like for me personally, we focused on like being able to pour, the ability to pour, but we would also learn to count and add. So they might say something like, can you pour something 2 + 5 times? So I would like have to pour 7, pours of like liquid into a cup or something like that. So while I'm building dexterity, I'm also learning how to do something like addition or something like that, right? And so that was basically how all of my classes were structured up until first grade. And if you look at the Montessori learning model and the person who invented Montessori, I'm pretty sure it was invented for marginalized children, low-income children. Nevertheless, this is coming from the perspective of somebody who went to a Montessori school. And the reason why I say this is so important is because Montessori learning is something that is not traditional, it's not widely accepted, but it's something that I personally feel like set the path for me and my academics going forward, because I went to a Montessori school. Then I eventually transitioned over to many private schools. We moved around a lot when I was a kid, and then I went to high school at public school. And I felt very academically prepared. And not only did I feel academically prepared, I felt confident in my abilities, because through Montessori learning, I feel like a lot of learning is like learning through error and learning through messing up. And when you're confident with making errors, confident messing up, confident taking initiatives in your interests and using your interests in the way that you want and exploring them in a variety of ways, I feel like that leads you to put that confidence in other places in life. And so for Montessori learning, like I said, I did it from pre-K all the way up to first grade. It was an experience that I'm using Vaseline. Here's my Vaseline, by the way. It was an experience that I personally felt like was extremely shaping for me and everyone that I know that went to a Montessori school, because now I just graduated from a top 20 university. I'm currently in graduate school at a top 10 university. I guess I should say top 5, really. Give myself more credit for that. But I do think that Montessori learning did set the stage for me, because I'm also a kinetic learner, so I do really well in laboratory settings. I do really well in anything that's like physical learning, anything that I need to use my hands for, anything that I need to kind of like build stuff for. And I just really feel like the way in which Montessori learning was structured was for you to kind of find your niche. It was for you to find out. For me personally, I loved the cleaning section. I used to call my mom and be like, she cannot stay out of that cleaning section. I don't know why. I love the cleaning section. But I also love the geography section. I love political science. I love the math, using like my hands to make addition and like make different groups of stuff. So I was really good at like multiplication. I'm really good at fast math. So I'm really good at like, figuring out the tips or figuring out calculations when I need to figure out how much prescription to give a patient or something like that. Like I can do it pretty fast and I can do it really accurately. Because I really feel like the Montessori learning helps set the foundation for that. And I feel like this person does have a really good point about, I know this is like a lengthy video, but I feel like this person really does have a good point about the connection between Montessori learning or play and learning, because I feel like in a traditional school setting where you're sitting all day, you're bored out of your mind, you're not using any other part of your body other than like your eyes and your ears, it's really hard to feel fully immersed in what you're learning and what you're doing. So I really love Montessori learning, and if you are a parent looking to kind of like get your kids into school, if you are somebody that's in the community who is looking to kind of start like homeschooling your child, or looking to start building more of educational settings outside of like that traditional Western model, I really think Montessori learning is a great place to start, because quite frankly, I feel like what is lacking in our community, what is lacking in our activism is the education, right? Like knowledge is power, But the knowledge that we're being given is really not the knowledge that's going to free us. It's not the knowledge that's going to help us move forward or get out of this system. If the knowledge is given to us by the system, it trusts it won't be the knowledge to break the system or dismantle the system in any way, shape, or form. So I really feel like if you're interested in kind of, and the point of this video is because I want people to consider Montessori learning as a tool of radicalism and a tool of empowerment for the community. If you are looking to start somewhere, if you are looking to educate children in a different way, really consider Montessori learning. Look into it if you're trying to look somewhere, because as somebody who went through Montessori learning, I loved it. I felt like it built community. The teachers, the way that they loved the students, the way that the other students loved the students, it's different. It was much, much different when I transitioned into like a traditional school setting. It was different, okay? If you ever get the chance to send your children to Montessori or start a Montessori school in your area, I think that Montessori schooling and more interactive educational models that are different from the Western model, different from sitting at a desk for 8 hours, from even sitting at a desk at all. I think I saw a desk maybe once a week. I think I saw a desk, or I had to sit at a desk for lunch, which was the most boring part of the day, like sitting down for lunch. Because if you also have a student that has any sort of like neurodivergency, if they have ADHD, if they have autism, if they have something that maybe makes the traditional learning model a little bit more difficult, I think that Montessori learning was really freeing for me. As somebody who's got a few things going on, and I think that it really, really, really has been shown to work in a variety of other students. It's really good for a variety of kids. You know, the traditional model is really narrow, so I know I've pretty much been rambling for the last, let me see, hold on, 7.5 minutes, but this will be on my long form content tab. So, I mean, you don't have to sit here and listen to this unless you're going to watch the long form content. And I'm not going to clip anything either. It's just me rambling. But I am going to say that I think Montessori learning is phenomenal. I think that education and the way in which we teach our children is going to be foundational. It's going to be foundational to dismantling this system, because what's happening is we're being taught how to live in this system. We're being taught how to continue and maintain the system through the education that we're receiving. And I'm not saying like let's all do Montessori schooling, but I'm saying that we should look at other models and see how that might be part of the cornerstone for liberation for us, especially at the cornerstone of education, which we know education can come at any age, but especially when we're talking about young kids, I think really that interactive, full-bodied, holistic learning model is much more beneficial than the traditional sit at the desk all day. So as somebody who went to Montessori school and has really felt like that has been the foundation for my education, the foundation for my confidence and my knowledge, I really encourage us as a community and as a people to kind of consider other and alternative educational models in the future. So that was 10 minutes of me rambling. I hope you guys loved it. Free the people. Sorry that was so long. It was supposed to be a skincare. Got to me talking. But love ya.